sky 61 degrees. Chip Lyness and Louie Herron. It is Super Thursday, the automotive show on the air, saving you money on your next used or new car purchase. We're talking year-end deals, and wow, Louie, some
a lot of
great
stuff going
deals,
on.
man.
Well, look, if you go to theautoschool.com, I just want you to pay attention and look at one of the sources we have on there is bankrate.com, and it gives you some real-time changing daily automotive rates. I mean, right now, you're looking at 2.64 as far as the interest rate is concerned. I mean, so that is phenomenal. Now, here's what I want to tell you. Now, you're talking about New Year and year-end and so forth. Look, nobody knows, really what's going to happen in terms of the fiscal cliff, and I'm no political pundit, and I'm not that bright when it comes to that stuff. But I will tell you this: with tax rates, if things expire and go in the direction they're going, obviously the next phase of that is interest rate changes. Obviously, they're extremely low. They've been low for an extremely long period of time. Eventually, it's going to have to get back up to a point where they go up. And so, again, you got to have to consider all facets of the car purchase. It's the trade-in, it's the financing, it's the price of the car. There's more to a good deal than just the price. I think people get honed in on what's my deal. But when you're talking about a deal, there's more to a good deal than just the price of the car. You've got a lot of work to do to make sure you get the maximum savings. And one of that facet is interest rate. And in fact, Chip, if you really look at it and you lay it side by side, the interest rate piece is probably the biggest opportunity to save money. When you look at 2.9 on interest rate and you look at 5.9, which is still a great rate, I mean, when you're looking at the difference and you take that, we've got 2.9 right now available on 72 months. So I mean, you're talking about probably a $30 spread in payment. From 2.9 to 5.9, and 5.9 is a good rate, but $30, 72 months
every month.
Yeah, that's $2,200 in interest right there. So you're fighting so hard to get this $800 off on the car, $1,000 off on the car. Well, you get $2,000 just sitting in rate.
Gotcha.
So you really have to pay attention. So wanted to make sure we covered that. Those real-time rates are going on. You can check that out on theautoschool.com. Please do yourself a favor and log that in. I need to come up with an app so you can put that on your phone. But just great information. Look, if you're not going to buy a car, but every 4 years you may know someone who's going to buy a car, having car information readily available at your fingertips is a very powerful tool because, whether it's a home or a car, these purchases don't happen very often. But when they do, you've got to make sure you do your research. So that's really what the focus is.
And with 72 months, Louie, if people are focused in on a monthly payment, you can really get that payment low.
You definitely can. Again, be careful focusing strictly on the payment, but I agree with you. 72-month term at 2.9 is unbelievable. Sometimes you'll see Chevy with 72 months with 0%. That's folks, I'm going to tell you something. When you see that, and you look at 72 months, and normally the further you take your term, the higher risk for the lender. So the higher the rate's going to be, not because of your credit, just because of the risk of the car, right? If you have a car for 6 or 7 years, the propensity of it breaking is higher, so they want to make sure they're covered, so the rate goes up. So if you take a normal interest rate on 72 months for good credit is 7.5%, maybe 8. Okay, that's good credit. Now, obviously, there's special rates. We got them as low as 2.9, but I'm just saying typical scenario. So if you see a deal for 0% for 72 months, my gosh, that's $8,000 in savings.
And you mentioned a month or so ago that you're finding it easier to get people financed that maybe couldn't get financed 6 months or a year.
Oh yeah, I said probably a month ago that I have had more prospects, more lending institutions knocking on my door wanting me to sign up with a dealer agreement for their bank as it relates to secondary marginal credit, people that have had hiccups, divorces, tough situations, loss of job, loss of income, part-time income, all these scenarios that have really crippled our economy and really more importantly crippled our families. These lenders are coming to us by the droves wanting us to sign up and literally finding a way to get anybody financed. We've got a lending institution right now that we deal with called CAC, Guaranteed Credit Acceptance. Chip, they'll approve anybody. If you've got a job and you have $500 down, I guarantee you I can get you financed. I mean, and that's a claim that is a guarantee. It's not a ploy. It's not a marketing trick. $500 down, you've got a job of part-time or full-time income, you can get a car. Think about that. I mean, that's a huge... Now, obviously, it may not be the car of your dreams. It may not be the car of your choice. But when you're looking at scenarios right now, sometimes you're having to rebuild and buy your credit back.
Yep.
You know, you're not necessarily buying a car. What you're buying is what the car provides. Kids go to school, ball practice, you work. I mean, that's what you're buying. So you have a chance to get on your feet. So, anyways, we wanted to talk about that rate and merge a little longer. I still want to talk about the age inventory and the day supply and how that affects you. We want to get to that. And then again, we also mentioned that the week before Christmas, what you don't know about how that could be huge for you, just stay tuned and we're going to cover that. As soon as we get back, we're going to cover the week before Christmas of how that can be a phenomenal opportunity that's hidden and unspoken.
All right, very good. Louie, Chip and Louie, it's the Automotive Show, 10 after 4. We've got 61 degrees. If you'd like to join the conversation, 706-453-4140. It's the Automotive Show with Louie Herron from Louie Herron Toyota in Milledgeville. Back after this on Doc 103.9.